Hi everybody. So we're getting towards the point in the year where we are going to be taking quite a few assessments, whether we're in year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, and definitely for year 11. So this is just a quick PowerPoint and presentation just to kind of go through with you lots of different revision techniques and suggestions and where you can find extra help for revising. Guidance on what to do best to suit your learning styles, and hopefully some help with organising yourself ready for those assessments. Okay. A few statistics about why revision is so important. 66% of all revision material is forgotten after 7 days. 88% of material is forgotten after 6 weeks. And if you just read your notes and textbooks or revision guides, this leads to a mere 10% of retention of that knowledge. So we really need to find other ways to keep that knowledge in our heads, and most importantly, to be able to apply it to different contexts and situations once we do remember it. The first thing to remember when we are trying to do revision is to be organised. Okay, so we need to think about where we're going to do our revision. Are we going to sit at our desk? And if we are, it needs to be somewhere designed for study. A kitchen table or somewhere we can spread out and really get the best out of the space. You're going to need a filing system for your revision notes. So if you're revising different topics for different subjects, you need to be able to file those away. Or if you're going to file it by day of when you're doing a revision, some kind of system to make it really easy for you to find your notes and to organise them. And then finally, on the notes themselves, less is more. It's no good copying out from the revision guide or from the textbook. It needs to be concise, it needs to be beneficial, and it needs to really have an impact on your revision. What? So this is all about making sure that whatever task you're doing, it's specific and it's realistic. There's no point trying to set yourself a whole topic to revising an hour. There's no point trying to squeeze a massive year's worth of work into a week. We need to plan out the revision to make sure that it actually is effective. Okay, make the tasks small, make the tasks achievable in a short space of time, and then over that time it starts to mount up and to build together into effective revision. Think about how you're going to do it. So think about what revision styles you do like. So if you do like to make notes, how are you going to do those? Are you going to do them on revision cards, on post-its? Are you going to put them on posters around your house? Think about what topics you're going to be doing, and the fact that you can't just focus on the ones you like, you have to focus on the ones that you don't like as well. And most importantly, think about how you're going to review that information afterwards. When are you going to revise? So when you're planning out your revision timetable, are you going to revise in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evenings? That can be as important as what you are actually revising. Some people don't work as well in the morning, so depending on what you are like in the morning or in the afternoon is when you should try to plan your most effective revision sessions, and ideally have the most of your time at those points of the day. And then finally, the application. So you need to apply and practice any of the revision that we do achieve. So once you've made your notes, you've made your revision cards, how are you going to apply and practice that? How are you going to test yourself? How are you going to make sure that it's actually stuck in your head? Okay, so let's have a think about making a timetable. And I know lots of you have tried to do this during your form tutorial times at school. And if you haven't, then on the website there will be some duplicate timetables available for you to plan out your own revision. But when you're making your timetable, you've got to know your topics and your subtopics. So what are you actually going to be revising? If you need help with these, you need to see your teacher to get a list of the topics for each assessment. Like I said before, you need to plan when you're going to study, what time of the day is most effective for you as an individual. And you need to use short bursts. Don't plan revision sessions that are 2-3 hours long. They need to be short and sharp. So number one, you don't get bored and fall asleep. And number two, the information actually is retained in your head. Make sure in your timetable, you timetable in exercise. So time to move around the house, time to go outside and have a walk, anything that will help you to get the blood circulating and to keep you motivated. Here's a quick rundown of some of the most effective revision techniques. Number 1, mind maps. Number 2, keywords and post-its. Flashcards, podcasts, of which using GCSE Pod is a great way to do it, and these are all set up, and every single member of our school has got a GCSE Pod account that you can sign into. Family and friends testing you. So once you've made your flashcards or you've made your vision cards, having your family, your friends cover up some information for you and test you on it. Highlighting key information in your notes and really trying to remember that information. Chant or rapping the revision that you've been trying to do, so trying to learn it and then chant it back to yourself. It's a really good way of trying to remember information and getting it into your memory. Using exam questions and mark schemes, and if you struggle to find these online, then you need to contact your teachers and they'll be able to point you in the right directions. But every single exam board has got a bank of accessible revision exam questions and mark schemes for students to be using. Write your own questions. So from your revision notes, you can write your own questions to test yourself on, which you can then give to friends or family to help you test yourself, or you can use it by yourself. Mnemonics. So mnemonics are really good ways to remember key terms or keywords by remembering a nice friendly rhyme. Okay, so after you've been revising, so after a good 1 hour memorizing session, what we're going to do, how we're going to make sure that knowledge is really well retained in our brains and ready for the assessments, and more importantly, ready for us for future learning and to be building upon as we proceed. So first one I think of is 10 minutes later, after that 1 hour session, you're going to revise the topic for 10 minutes. And this is going to really help to retain the information in your brain. A day later, you're going to revisit that topic again for about 5 minutes, just to go back over what you've already looked at and to try to make sure that you've got no gaps in that knowledge. A week later, you're going to pop back to it again, just for 2 to 5 minutes, so you're keeping it fresh in your brain for as long as possible, and to see if you've forgotten anything. A month later, again, you're continually revisiting that information, you're going back to it, so you're going to go back to that information after a month to make sure it's still in your brain. And then just before the exams, you're going to revise that topic as required, and that might mean you spend another half an hour, another hour going through the information and really applying it. But you'll find by that point that the information is a lot more easy to access in your memory, and hopefully you'll just be looking at applying that to new contexts, so getting the best out of those exam questions. Each time knowledge is reinforced, it's deeper and deeper embedded into your long-term memory, and it becomes more stable. Okay, just like learning to ride a bike or learning to drive a car, the more you do these things, the more you do them without thinking. So if you can revisit these topics over and over again, you'll be able to recall that information really readily whenever you need it for the exams. Okay, so resources to use. There's a massive great big list of resources that's all going to be on the website, the Ladybridge website, and also on Microsoft Teams. I've put this into a particular format, which is the form of a revision guidance booklet that you can print off if you like, or you can use online, and it contains lots of information across all of your subjects for how and where to revise, and lots of electronic resources that you can be using. So please take a look at the website for that revision guidance, and it's going to be on all of your year teams as well. Okay, on the website there's a particular section for revision guidance, and that section is going to be populated with lots of bits of information, lots of tips and hints that you can try, and also bits of resources that you can dip into as well. Your teachers have all fed into this, so there's bits that are particularly useful for particular subjects, so take a look and see if any of those are useful for you in your revision. And good luck with the exams. I'm sure you're going to do really, really well. Make us all proud. And if you need any help with anything, don't hesitate to ask one of your teachers or me.